And welcome back to DIY Willy. Today we're working back on Max with the Monster 212 Predator engine. I don't know if you saw my my post where I talked about the different exhaust. My original exhaust I put on there, that thin flange, I never liked that flange. It was way too thin. I couldn't get enough weld in it. It eventually cracked while riding the mini bike, and well, I took it off. And I went ahead and went to OMBWarehouse and purchased larger, thicker flanges. And I mean, they fit the same, but they're a thicker material, almost a 1/4 inch, I believe. And well, it gives me more weld area and a much thicker flange. It's a lot stronger. Also, it clamps down better. It doesn't distort when tightening it down, and it'll seal better on that old gasket I'm using. So let's take a look at this exhaust. So here's the pipe. The exhaust I put in, it worked really well. I had to get this reducer here came with the muffler, and this piece here is like a 3-staged like a what do they call it, a trumpet, and it had threads on the back side, and I cut the threads off and I welded it to the adapter here, the reducer piece here, and then this allowed it stages down. It's tight fit right here, made for a nice weld. This was a butt weld fit, and then of course this is the pipe that I had in that kit that you saw when I made the other pipe. It's really nice out here like this. I did have to come up with a bracket to hold it, and even though this engine is going to go on mighty and this exhaust is going to go with the engine, I can easily take this off and put it on mighty in the same spot, and the exhaust should fit exactly the same, because I'm going to use this engine with the same riser plate, same torque converter. Everything should be the same, so it should go right on mighty. The only thing different about mighty is the swing arm and the seat support back here on the frame, so it should fit mighty exactly the same. This is adjustable, and of course I made it. I can make it any way I need it. So what we're going to do today is, you can see there's little brown mark or black marks right here. We can get a little closer. Little black marks right there. That's actually flesh. This thing, after riding it, burned me right there, and I caught it right on this piece when I was getting off. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead. I've got some wrap here that I've been using for many different projects. A little bit has gone a long way, let me tell you. It's I guess it's titanium, I want to say. They don't really mark it up very well, but yeah, there it is. Titanium tape with stainless ties, made in China. All right, that's always good to know. That's where all the stuff comes from. But I've used it to wrap several different exhausts, and I still have a lot of it left. And of course it's all been mini bike exhausts and golf cart exhausts, but I've used a lot of it, and you can see the strands coming off. I mean, this stuff will get you, man. It'll make you itchy. It's fiberglass, and well, it's titanium, but it's like fiberglass, and it's a pain in the butt, but it will protect me from getting burned again. It'll keep the heat where it belongs, and the heat will go out the back rather than radiate out. Also, I have a heat shield that'll clamp on right here after I do the wrap, and the heat shield will stay cool and protect anybody from touching it and burning their legs again, or their hands, whatever it may be. So let's go ahead and get this off. And I've got a bucket of water here. I'm gonna cut the wrap to size, and I'm gonna put it in the bucket of water, and then let it soak and absorb some water, and that makes it easier and makes for a tighter wrap. And then when you start it up, it'll dry it out and kind of bake it in, kind of glue it, kind of bake it into the exhaust and make it all one. It's going to be a little bit more difficult with the clamps right here, or the hooks for the springs, but we'll figure it out. If we have to stop here, and I don't know, we'll do something where these will still be able to be used with the springs. It's a really nice setup. It sounds really good. I wish I could have let you hear it right now, but I really want to keep it cool to wrap it. And well, we'll turn it on afterwards. We'll just give it a start up after we get the wrap on, so we can bake the wrap in there. You can see the flange. I welded it across the top and the bottom. I did not weld it along the sides where the bolts go or where the nuts go, because I wanted to have enough room for the nuts and not the weld. But it's welded 100% on the inside, again, like I did before. I just gave it this weld here on the sides to make it a little bit stronger. And it has this mount back here that really keeps it all from vibrating. And this mount here with the springs allows it to move with the heat of expansion, and when it cools and expands from the heat right here. So this setup should work a lot better. It's amazing what you can do with these little frames. There's a lot of stuff going on here. This is not at all what this frame was intended for. This Mega Moto MM80 is no longer an 80. It's something entirely different. It's a Willy creation, but it's pretty awesome. Still got to work on those front brakes, and but let's go ahead and get this exhaust done. It's getting kind of warm out here outside today, and I need to get out of the sun. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off, and we'll get it measured out for the wrap, and then we'll get the wrap soaking and get it put on. All right, so I've got the exhaust off. I've got some of the wrap kind of measured out a little bit here, how much I think it will need. And it's loosely wrapped on there right now. Like I say, we're gonna put it in some water to help control the fibers and make it a tighter wrap. This stuff, man, it gets everywhere. All these little fibers will sting when they prick you and poke you and do all kinds of nasty things to you. So be careful when handling this stuff. Like I said, I think I said earlier, it's best if you can use gloves. The nitro gloves or some rubber gloves or something that's fine, but not too bulky, that can allow you to control this wrap a little better. But after we get it soaking in some water, it'll be much easier to handle, and won't be quite so deadly. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the whole thing in the water right here, and then we'll take the exhaust out later. Just like that. See if we can get it off. Now we want it to absorb in there and get very well saturated with water. You see in there? Yeah, you can see in there. So we'll just leave this in there for a few minutes. You can see the soot that came out of the thing still running rich. Now that I've got this exhaust on it, I can go ahead and tune the carburetor and jet it to where it should be for this engine. But that's another story. We're just gonna let this stuff soak for a while, and we'll come back when it's ready to go. Now here's where the fun begins. It gets kind of messy, but this is really the good stuff. Now I've had this sit soaking in here for about 15 minutes. You can tell it's hard to cut now. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend it over in a triangle like that. And this will be the start of our first wrap. And we'll put it on here like this and wrap it as tight as we can. Making it wet allows it to kind of stretch and be tighter. You'll feel the water come out of it as you wrap it around. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a plastic zip tie just to hold it. This is temporary. This is not going to be permanent. Obviously plastic would melt with the exhaust. Although it would be interesting to see how long it lasts with the wrap. But this way, that'll hold it, the wrap in place. Anyway, that'll hold the wrap in place while I do the rest of it. We want to make sure it's getting tight. Pull it, overlap it at like 50%. Remember, pulling it tight. We're way less than 50% wrap overlap. We're probably, well, I guess that's going to be about it. that's fine. And we can see if we can trim this back a little bit. It's getting kind of frayed. Ah, it's getting more frayed. Anyway, you get the idea. Now we fold this back on itself again. And look at that. One of the littlest fibers. We'll fold this back on itself again to hide those exposed fibers. Pull it tight. Now we'll put the other zip tie. Like I said, I'm using plastic ones at first. We'll swap them out for metal ones here in a minute. But that's how she's gonna look. And this will help immensely to protect, get those fibers off my hands, to protect from the heat and getting burned like that again. It's not something fun, not something we want to do every time we want to ride the bike. Alright, so that was the wrap of this titanium wrap. I'll leave a link in the description. We're not quite done yet, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it. Now as it dries, they say there's like a glue in there. When it dries, it's gonna adhere to itself. It's gonna kind of shrink. It will stay on that pipe, so it's gonna turn out really nice. I like it a lot. I can feel the fibers in my hand already. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those stainless steel clamps out, or ties out, and install those, and we'll come back to this in a minute. All right, so there we have it. It's wrapped. It's got the stainless steel ties on it, and it's pretty secure. It looks good. I guess it got a little bit loose in a couple spots, but that's okay. The whole point is not to get burned again. So we can go ahead and put it back on the engine, and well, put everything back together, and yeah, we'll wrap this video up. There we go, all back together, looking good. Looking really good. I feel so much safer with that like that. I believe you could leave it like that perfectly and it wouldn't burn here anymore. This was my concern because your leg is right here. All right, the rest of it gets hot. Maybe we'll come up with another shield for back here another day. But for right now, I'm very happy with that. The wrap is loosening up a little bit more than I would like it to be. But hey, that's good enough. It's a mini bike, right? There's one more thing that I got to finish this project up, and I think it's going to help out immensely. So I went on Amazon and I picked up this heat shield, and just so happens it's about 10, I think 10.5 inches long, you know, and it just so happens that it fits really nice right there. And yeah, this will stay cooler than the rest of it and should pretty much eliminate the burning issue I had. No more burns on the legs. So it's an easy clamp on. Let's get the bag open. It just easily clamps on. These hose clamps are a little bit big, however. I'll probably have to trim them down. But hey, they're gonna serve the purpose. Yeah, they're a lot big, but they'll work. We'll just have to trim them off because this is a small pipe. And they install easy enough. Just have to open them up like so. We can feed them through. We can feed them through the, come on now, feed them through like that. And then we'll just clamp them back on. This is going to work out really good. You know, I should probably put both of them on to make it easier. I hope there's enough clamp in them and I don't have to go and get shorter clamps. If so, we'll do that. We'll get shorter ones. They sell them cheap if we have to. Ah, this one came apart. Cheap China clamps. Cheap China clamps. They come all the way apart. There we go. We'll put it back together like that. Let's go ahead and stick it in here like this too, like we did the first one. Just like that. And like I said, I hope there's enough clamp in these that it'll work right now. If not, we'll get shorter ones. I can tell that that clamp's already a problem. Look at this, the clamp's already falling apart. So we may wind up getting different clamps anyway. I might even have some in the garage, who knows. But we'll keep trying with these. I'll definitely leave in a review of this part that the clamps were garbage. Wow, that was kind of a challenge actually, putting that that heat shield on. The clamps that came with it, absolute garbage. You can see they just basically came apart. They wouldn't tighten up enough to do the job they needed to do. I was able to find one clamp in the garage that worked. I need to get another one for the backside, but let's take a look at what we got. So here's the final product. This should be a lot better and not cause burns. Now if you touch back here, man, I'm sorry, you're gonna get burnt. But this area here where it's gonna get the hottest off the engine, you're not gonna get burnt. So right now this looks really good. I like it. It's a little bit loose, so I need to get that clamp on the back. I'll have to go pick one up at the warehouse store. And right now I guess all we need to do is start it up, let it run, and let it dry out the wrap. It did take quite a while to do this, so the wrap may be dry already. But yeah, let's just go ahead and start it up and see if it tightens up the wrap a little bit. I know it's going to be better on there than what it was. So let me set you up and we'll get this thing started. Quiet it is. Super quiet. I should have took the chain off to start it, but it wasn't killing the garage door. I definitely need to put the clutch cover on. It chewed up my burn. I gotta say, that sounds really good. Already getting hot enough to heat up the wrap. Kind of hard to tell, but it's there. I think what I'll do is I'll just take it for a quick ride down the street and if I can get it out of here. That way it gets good and hot. Check it out. It got hot. Can you see the steam coming off of there? It's drying out that wrap now. No problem. I took it for a quick ride up and down the street, and this is even cool to the touch. Really surprised. That's exactly what I wanted. Don't try to touch back there, but this is cool to the touch. That's perfect. So I need to get that other clamp back here, and that'll be perfect. Tight, won't burn anymore. And if you're wearing jeans and not shorts like my dumbass, then you'll have no problem. So I know we got some landscapers working in the background. I'll try to get that sound out of it. But this project turned out really good. It's exactly what it needed to keep from burning us and getting that hot exhaust right there to be a problem. It's still kind of a problem in the back. We may figure something else out later. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that super thanks button and help DIY Willy YouTube channel grow and to make more projects like this. So thanks for stopping by and checking out my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.